And we're live.
Are we singing?
No, we're not singing.
You know what? If you can, by next week, bring us a jingle, pitch it,
Okay, I'll do a, let's introduce ourselves and then I'll do a light jingle.
All right.
Okay.
You know what? I'm down with that.
Okay.
I'm down with it. I might cut it out.
So, as you guys know, I'm Jordan.
I'm Xavier.
I'm Oscar.
And this is No Place for Conversation.
Today's special episode, we got hot takes, yeah.
Hot takes.
Hot takes.
Also-
This is episode 4.
Also, today's episode of No Place for Conversation is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
We have, yeah, I don't think,
Yay!
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, thanks to Oscar's hot take jingle.
Yeah.
You know that we're doing hot takes.
I got a standing ovation.
Every
Yes.
time we say hot takes, you have to do the jingle.
Hot takes.
Look, let's
That way
not
you can't
do
edit
that.
them all out.
Let's not do that. But basically, we all have a hot take on life. Something not widely agreed with, most likely, and we're all gonna share our points and dispute about them.
So should we go with? Because I feel like we all have our hot takes.
Yeah.
They are of varying degrees of severity.
You want to go with the least
Should we go with
serious?
the least serious?
I don't think we
Or
should start
end.
with the least serious because
Should we start with the most serious so that everybody can forget about it by the end?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
let's go, Jordan.
All right.
Oh no.
So back, this is on par with just like me being a total psycho. But this is something that I believe, and maybe you guys can convince me otherwise. But I don't think war crimes are a thing. I think if you're gonna go to war, that's it. Like, it's just war. Like, don't get me wrong, war is bad. War is horrible.
War is bad.
War
yes.
is the worst thing that humanity has ever done.
Yes.
But if you're gonna go to war, I don't think there should be rules to war. I think it's literally just do what you can to win, and then whoever loses the war, they're the ones that get punished for what the winners think of the crime is. Because history is written by the victors, all that jazz.
Yeah.
You know, whoever loses the war,
Unless
they're the
you're
ones
from
who get
America,
punished.
then history is written
Written
by
by
the
America.
losers that say they're the winners.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
But yeah, I kind of want to talk about Vietnam in regards to this, because so you think it's fine for to just carpet bomb a bunch of civilians and Agent Orange them and have their kids and for generations and generations just have just horrible birth defects? And
I never said it was fine to do, but
But-
I don't
but you-
think.
Well, now here's the thing: it's a war crime because those things shouldn't be allowed. Like you're taking a war and bringing it to a place and literally killing innocent people that have nothing to do with the war, that have nothing to do with these political disputes between baby adults.
Yeah.
That can't talk shit out, and you're saying that carpet bomb a freaking city just so you can get rid of the few top soldiers that are there planning to strike back on you, but you take out entire
See, again, this is why like war is bad. Right?
yeah.
But I guess the way I see it, if you're gonna be killing a bunch of people, because you gotta do. I guess the last way I see it, you gotta do what you gotta do to win. If it's horrible, it's not everything you do, whether it's killing a soldier or killing an innocent civilian. It's horrible.
It is.
It's horrible no
And
matter what.
I agree with
so
you.
the way that I see it is like, if you're at war, you shouldn't pull the reins in any way, shape, or form.
See,
Like, it's just-
I agree with you in the sense of majority of my feelings about armies and people in those armies is that it's a bunch of people fighting for somebody else, and they're all innocent to a sense. Not all of them, because we know a bunch of people in America that are like,
some people that are just
you're
crazy
talking to a
and
future soldier.
you're disrespecting a future U.S. Army soldier.
Yeah, and those people, okay, it is their war, and you can fight them. I'm not going to say anything about it, but for the most part, it's just like the way that I know America gets a lot of people joining the army right out of high school. It's a bunch of kids that don't know what they want to do with their lives, so they get coerced into joining the military because there's so many benefits. But that by the time you get out, it's like you're set to do whatever you want. But it's like in most cases, back in the day when people were drafted in Vietnam and World War I and II and all that stuff, it's not everybody was innocent. It's like not their war, and a bunch of innocent people are dying. But if you think of it in the sense of you have party A and party B are arguing. They're arguing.
Sorry,
things get
I
violent.
just thought of Cardi
Yeah,
B.
me too. Oh God. Okay.
I heard Party A and Cardi B are arguing.
Person 1 and person 2 are arguing, and things get violent. You think it's soundly okay to go over and kill person D just because it will get you a one-up on person. You think it's okay for person A to kill person D because it'll give you a one-up on person B?
Yeah, I think because here's the way that I see it, right? Because like I said, war is the worst thing that humans can do to each other. So if you're gonna go to that extent, go all the fucking way.
If
That's
you
the
way you see it is, if you're gonna go to war, let the whole human civilization burn for all you care.
Yeah, total war.
Even okay, but that's not okay. That's not, you can't.
I didn't say it was okay.
No. But you're.
That's the world.
I'm
The world's
saying
not okay.
The world is not okay. But you have people that want it to be okay. You have people that is as largely motivated as large groups motivated as the army and all the people that go to war that are against war, that are trying to stop it, that are going around trying to make the world a better place, and you don't care if they die because other people are fighting a war.
Because the best way in both in your opinion and my opinion, the obvious best way to go about it is to not go to war in the first place.
Yeah, but that's unrealistic.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do horrible things, don't be like, that's too bad, that's too horrible.
Well, the thing
especially if the horrible things that you're gonna do are going to help benefit.
I feel
you
like
in some kind of
most
way.
war crimes today have to do with like chemical weapons.
Yeah.
Against and for the most part against civilians, because that's where
Against like anybody really, because I know you can't use chemical weapons. You can't use like bayonets are now considered a war crime. I guess whenever I guess another thing is, like, when you guys think war crimes, you guys are thinking stuff about against civilians.
Yeah.
I'm thinking within the war.
I think within the war, if you're gonna show up to kill somebody else on the other side, then I don't care what you use to do it.
Like, here's an example. Like, if let's say you shoot down a jet, right? The pilot shoots out of the jet, starts parachuting down. It is a war crime to shoot that pilot while he was parachuting down. And you can go up to him when he's landed, you can find him, boom, kill him.
And see,
not a war crime.
on that aspect, then I don't think that should be a war crime, because that's what they're there to do. You're there to win if you have the opportunity to do it. But when you bring other people, other outside parties into your problems.
Okay. All right, then let me rephrase the hot take then like this. Within soldiers, within war, within what's the word I'm looking for? Participants of war, there should not be war crimes.
Okay, agreed. Agreed to a certain extent. Again,
I don't think I know enough war crimes to agree with this.
It's like kind of like how you shouldn't shoot medics and stuff like that, right? Because they're not necessarily there to kill you; they're there to help others. But like, if you see a medic and you're like, oh, you're gonna save somebody who can possibly pick up a gun and shoot me? No, you're dead. There shouldn't within the game that is war. There should be no rules.
I was just thinking about it like a video game, because there are plenty of video games where you would do that so that they couldn't come back to get you.
Exactly.
And like,
double tap.
because it's a video game, everybody's like, it's fine. But also, I say to a certain extent, because like I previously stated before, at least in America, the army coerces innocent people to join their fights because they know that they can prey on these people that don't know what they want to do with their lives. It's like, now you still have people that it's not their war to fight, but it's the only path that they technically have to see themselves getting somewhere in life, and like, you know, the whole utopia kind of aspect of a mindset to think that you can go to war and someone will treat you fairly just because they value your future outside of the war. But if you're on opposite sides, you see somebody else and you're not thinking, oh, that's a person that probably doesn't want to be here. That's a person that probably is just trying to, you know, progress their life like I am. Yeah. You're not going to think that. You're going to think that's a person that's trying to kill me. So it's like, again, to certain degrees, I'm like, yeah, some war crimes I don't think should be war crimes, but because it's, like you said, it's war, and don't fucking sign up if you're not, you know, gonna.
Again, like you said earlier, some people get drafted.
But people get drafted, and it's not.
Jordan, do you think some of these like rules are in place to not just protect like civilians, but to protect actual soldiers who fight? Because I was just thinking about this, like putting myself in those shoes, if I were to then disregard all, you know, humanity, I guess, and like have no mercy, coming back from that and being welcome into normal society or whatever. I think with the way that like veterans are treated already, and like how mental health advocation isn't like really a thing in the Army, from what I've heard. I think there would be like a 300% or whatever increase in suicides from what the already extremely high number is.
Suicides and mass shootings in public places.
Yeah. So,
because that's true. If you have it to where there aren't war crimes, you have a bunch of people that survive the war and they come back still thinking they're PTSD. But in this sense, there are no rules. Like, they're going to be somewhere, have PTSD, and they're just going to grab the sharpest object and start killing people because everybody's against them. And there's no, oh, I shouldn't do this, civilians. It's just war again.
Wait, you lost me on that one. Wait, what?
If you have the mindset that if there were no such thing as war crimes, going into war against other army, whatever, there are already things like PTSD where people come back and they can't adapt back into normal, quote unquote, normal society.
Yeah.
Now, if you have those same people, but they went into a war where there were no rules, where you did what you had to do to survive, when those people came back and had PTSD, it wouldn't just be screaming and trying to protect themselves and hiding. It would be constantly fighting back against anybody that's around them.
I disagree. I think whether or not there were war crimes or not, it's kind of the say. I don't think having war crime or ignoring the laws of war would make it any worse. I think you would, like, people go now and get severe PTSD,
yes,
right? But I don't think making it so that killing somebody with gas or with a bayonet or while they're dropping down.
It's not so much how they kill them; it's the mindset that they will do whatever they can to kill them instead of. I know a lot of the ways that people have expressed PTSD is they think they're like back in their troop. They think they're back in the thick of it, and there are people on their side, and there are ways you're supposed to do things. There are laws, and there are rules, and that prevents chaos.
Like rules of engagement.
Yeah, and there are rules of engagement because in order, war crimes, there are things you're not supposed to do. If you have the mindset, if the mindset is just, win.
There are no rules of engagement.
There are no rules of engagement. There are no laws in place. There are no rules. It's chaos. So if someone goes through chaos and comes back into a civilized place and has PTSD where they think they're just in chaos, there's nobody around them is safe. I think Oscar kind of had a good point in the sense of having war crimes, having those rules and laws prevents when people from coming back. It gives them an opportunity to still function properly. In a society with rules.
Yeah, because normal society has rules.
Yeah.
And so like then ergo the war society has to as well, or else it's just
Anarchy.
Yeah, it's
Anarchy,
anarchy.
yeah, it's chaos.
You can't
Like,
come
what-
back from chaos. You can't go to hell and come back and be like okay anymore.
I
Hell
kind of
doesn't have.
see what you're saying,
Mhm.
but I still think like
For the
I don't-
purpose of
I don't know-
war,
I don't know how to
I get
explain it.
I
but
get like the purpose of war. It's not about the rules. It's about winning.
yeah.
And like to have war crimes is like contradicting the whole point of why you're sending all of these people out there. What the reason you're sending all these people out there to fight for you, but it's like. And again, we also war shouldn't exist because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make sense. But they're trying to make sense of it in the fact that we're doing this to win, but we want the least amount of people to die. We want the most amount of people to come out of this and be okay. We just want what we wanted to in the negotiation or whatever in the first place. But we also want those people to be able to go back home. And those
Your people to go back home.
Exactly, but your people can't go back
Fuck
home.
everybody else.
Yes, but your people and their people can't go back home if they've been somewhere where there were no rules. Like if society today just broke down, chaos, apocalypse, full on, there would be no rules. And it's like zombie apocalypse shows. There are no rules. You make your own shit up. You do what you have to do to survive.
There are no rules until you remake the rules.
Until you remake the rules. But the thing is, even like if you got to a point where you beat the zombie apocalypse, it's never society will never go back to the way it was before the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, like Corona.
No, that's accurate. I don't
Remake
think
the rules. You got to wear a mask.
Yeah.
6 feet apart.
And after Corona, after this pandemic,
still gonna be-
it's gonna be places everywhere are gonna have more rules about how many people are limited in a space, how many
Whenever you
what
get
you have
sick,
to
wear a
wear.
mask.
Wear a mask. It's gonna be mandatory, and it's not gonna.
Which it probably should be.
It probably should be because that will ultimately prevent people from getting just regularly sick, and probably help the older senior population from having younger people spread shit to them all the time. But I guess what I'm saying is war crimes are just rules put in place so that you are able to, the people that go into war for somebody else are able to come out with some kind of moral conscience. Moral humanity and conscience to help them acclimate back into their homes and people they love.
That makes sense.
Man, I don't know if we should have started with the most serious.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
You know?
All right. Well, there was a good transition. For yours,
me.
I think, because you're talking a lot about how. Excuse me.
Always Xavier.
Okay, because we're using my my computer to edit
Oh,
and
so now
record.
it's our fault.
Yes, because I have to do it all. Thank you very much.
It's always Xavier.
How
You know what you
dare
can do
tell
is
the
just
truth on
have
stream?
all 3 of your friends in the same room, so nobody has to text you.
What are you talking about?
I.
Are you saying that you don't have any other friends, Jordan?
Damn.
Nobody that texts me.
Oh my god.
I ain't getting no notifications. Except maybe like Duolingo being like, "Hey, it's been a few days.
I'm so
Take 5 minutes."
I'm sorry.
Duolingo, I was like, I see you.
I fucking see that you're doing nothing right now. Get on.
Jordan, I'm sorry that you're going through this.
I've been going through it my
Yeah,
whole
that
life.
was-
It's fine. It's fine.
Maybe we should move on.
What were you saying?
Yeah. Xavier was making a lot of. He was bringing up a lot of points about how kids usually join the army because they just
Don't know what
Go
they're
for it, yeah.
doing for the rest of their lives.
yeah.
So my hot topic was
Hot take.
my hot
Topic.
I'm pretty sure you can't say that though.
Hot topic.
I'm pretty
Yum.
sure those notes. What?
Red Robin.
That's
Hot take.
Oh my god.
They'll definitely come for
No,
us.
no, it's more than 30% different or whatever.
Also, we're not making money yet, so.
Wow.
But
Anyways.
my hot take was in my thought was about the school system, the education system in America, because I've seen and read a lot of things about other school systems in other countries that I think are just smart. They prepare everybody to do what they're good at rather than just what they want to do. And a lot of times, like, let's say you're in school and you want to do art, but you don't pass the test to do art. They're not going to let you do it in school. You can do it outside of school and you can get better at it and maybe go to college for it if that's what you really want. But the school system, it's not their job to let you sit around wasting your time not preparing for the real world, which is like the whole point of it, having an education, is so that you aren't lost when you get out and have to do things on your own. But in America, you get to do whatever you want in school. You get to have fun. You get to goof off and you get to play whatever sports you want. And they let you believe that you can accomplish any dream you have, which is why only 1 to 2 people in your whole 4 years of being in high school are probably actually going to make it to play football. And like, that's only in the place I grew up. Most states, most football teams and sports teams, none of them make it. And it's like, I'm not saying don't have a sports team if nobody in your school is good, but I just believe the education system should not allow you to do the things that aren't going to get you anywhere. It has to be more strict. Like, America's homeless population is the greatest in the entire world because majority of the people that are homeless go into life thinking they're going to do something and they fail at it because nobody told them they were bad at it. Nobody told them, hey, you can sing, but you can't make a career out of this. Don't move to that other state because it's just not going to happen.
So, I guess you're saying what we should do instead of like maybe taking somebody who's not good at something and encouraging, if they're already not good at something, tell them, hey, stop where you are. This school is not going to teach you to do any of that or help you in that in any way. Do that outside. We're gonna teach you like what then?
Okay. There's in other countries there's school systems where you take a test in everything.
Like an aptitude test?
No, like actual like exam test, like hardcore. What is our SAT, PSAT, those ACT. It's those type of tests,
test.
But for every category: English, math, science, sports, art, theater, everything. And they have a grading system. It's like, if you are good at something, that's the path they're gonna encourage you to go on.
So
that's
an
the path
aptitude test.
In America, an aptitude test doesn't tell you shit though. It's a better version of an aptitude test. Yeah, it's like the correct version in my opinion. Our audience might have some.
Yeah. What do you want to say? Wait, does this mean that she's now on the pod?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just some Americans in a suite.
Put it into the right terms. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to graduate from school, and you can't graduate until you get a certain score in math, English, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
everything to excel at. And then based off those test scores is what you'll do in university. And then that's basically what
Mm-hmm.
he's saying.
Yeah.
So you can't choose?
Yeah.
Well in math, you are not getting in. You are not
Yeah.
doing math, and you will not do anything math related.
I mean,
So-
that makes sense, but
So-
some of the examples you used were art stuff.
Yeah, it's a little
No.
different for arts and sports.
I just know because there's a YouTuber that I watched and he wanted to do arts, but he failed it really badly, and that's not what he went to school for. And he ended up going to school for like engineering shit, and he got a real job, and he has a lot of money doing it. But in his YouTube videos now, he does art stuff. and now he's gotten better at
Right,
it.
so
It's just the school system didn't waste their time preparing him to only do art. They gave him something that he could make a life out of.
I'm like kind of in between on this one, I think, because I get it.
Yeah.
It just seems weird that like you're not getting the chance to improve.
Yeah.
Well, no,
You
you
know?
get the chance to improve, just not in the school system. Like
But-
But
I
that's
feel like
not
it's difficult
like,
to
'cause-
try
'cause-
and teach yourself. Like, of
Well,
course, people
no,
do it all the time.
You
but
don't have to teach yourself. Like we have whole leagues of sports, and there are classes you can take outside of school, in anything.
But if you're okay, you remember high school? Did you ever
Yeah.
have time for anything?
Yes, in high school, in high school, in middle school and high school, I'm gonna start with middle school. I was on the football team. I was in track. I was in cross country. Outside of school, I was still playing baseball and basketball, and I was on the basketball team in school as well. And when I got to high school, I was doing baseball and I joined the swim team. And outside of high school, I was still playing basketball. And I took piano and guitar lessons. You have the time. And plus, I was in band. I had after school programs. You have the time to learn and do what you want, which is why I ended up becoming a performer, even though majority of my schooling was me doing sports. And I was good at it. But outside of school, and luckily, because we're in America, inside of school, I got to do what I wanted. I was able to figure out what I want to do in my life.
and I
Do you notice what you
And I
just said,
guess-
though?
Yeah, and like
You
there
said
are
luckily because we're in America. You got to
because
do
we're
what
in
you
America,
wanted.
I got to do what I wanted. But here's my thing. There are pros to the way American school systems work, in the sense of you can do whatever you want, but that only works out for so many people. I would have gone if this was not like the way things were, I would have probably gotten a scholarship for baseball, and I would have been doing that until I, like my siblings, I found out that's not what I wanted to do in my life, and I would have just dropped out of college, and then I would have been nowhere. I wouldn't know what I was going to do in my life, but because of our school system, I was able to do multiple things at the same time, even though, let's be honest, I was not a good actor in high school. And I shouldn't have been allowed in those classes.
Wait, I'm not. Okay, wait. So you said that if the American school system was kind of like in other countries, you would have probably gotten a scholarship in baseball, which is what you're.
I would have
right?
100% got a scholarship in baseball.
And then you said you would have realized it's not what you want to do, which you would have dropped out of and been nowhere.
Yes.
So now I'm asking. Now it seems like you're saying that that's the wrong way to go.
Well, no, because in other countries, they're not just gonna prime. I would have been good at sports. I would have been good at baseball, and that's what I would have done. But they would have made sure if I was also good at mechanics or math or science, they would have made sure that I put just as much work into that as I did the sports, so that if the sport didn't work out, I would still have a place. I'd still have a path to go, even if it's not what I wanted to do. Like, they set you up to survive the real world, whether it's doing a job you like or not.
I get that. And also, it seems like then if you do like get fast tracked down like just 2 or 3 things rather than the entire like 7 or 8 whatever,
Right.
then you could have even more time
Yeah.
to do,
Yeah, you have.
because you're just focusing
Yeah.
on the main things.
Yeah, like
Everything
once
else
you
don't
take,
need.
once you pass the test that you're good at, and that's what they make you do in college, you're only doing those 2 things. You don't, like, if you're not good at math, you don't have to take math in college. If you're not good at English, you're not gonna do English in college. You're gonna do what you're good at, which gives you even more time to do whatever else you want to do in your free time. If that's studying to be an actor, if that's if that's painting or wanting. If you're not good at engineering and cars, if that's what you want to do, then
I just this reminds me of Divergent now. All of a
God.
sudden.
Not
God.
Divergent.
They're like, oh, you're dauntless? You don't get to be kind to
Yeah.
others. Go to the war. Jeez.
Exactly.
Oh,
You're
God.
Kinda
welcome.
like-
You're
You
welcome
know,
for that.
in a
Ants.
sense, in a
Wow, that's
certain
funny.
sense, that is correct. But it kind of makes sense to the fact that the whole purpose of that movie was like to break those layers, or
Americanized.
exactly. And like if you look at it,
Gryffindor.
people in other countries want to come to America, because it's not like that. It's not a system that makes you do something and prepares you in things that you don't want.
But you're saying we'd be better off if it was.
I think as a society, because if you look at America versus other places, it's like any American knows that there's no such thing as the American dream. Any American knows that you don't get what you want, even if you think you're good enough at it.
I don't know. I
That's
think
just-
a lot of Americans think the American dream is still a thing.
Good,
No,
like 49%.
well,
of them
they
do.
think the American dream is still a thing, and they go for it. We all went for our dreams.
I
We're all
mean-
still doing it, but we also know that if this doesn't work out, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
Here's the thing about the American
Yeah.
dream thing,
Yeah.
though, is that the American dream is different for everybody. Like, I remember my grandfather, he told me that for him, the American dream was to come to America with his family and then literally have grandchildren who can live in
And
the country, the greatest country or whatever. Because this was again,
But
like,
that's-
whatever.
well-
but to him, he's fulfilled his American dream. Like seeing his daughter
See-
buy a house in America.
But see, that's what I
was like,
mean.
that's my American.
That's what I
dream right
mean.
there.
That's the American dream to people outside of America. If they're already adults, of course the dream isn't for them to be able to fulfill their lives. It's to give their family a life. It's to give their family the lives we've had.
But then the American dream for people like us would be
I mean, but I'm saying for like the example you gave, that dream is technically still the same. He just has it for somebody else.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I guess I don't know. Okay, so you said you weren't a good actor
Oh God,
in
no.
high school,
God, no.
and you didn't take any kind of like.
I was in theater
You were in theater.
4 years.
How do you think it would have made you felt if after your freshman year they're like, dude, this is not for you. Don't do theater.
Yeah, it would have made me
Just
feel.
stick to
It
baseball.
would have made me feel horrible, but I liked baseball.
You liked baseball more than theater?
I didn't. Okay, here's the thing. My experience growing up, I was forced to play sports. I only knew sports, and I didn't know I could do anything else until middle school. So by the time I got to high school, I had no opinion on if I really wanted to do acting. I just thought it was fun, and my friends were in it. That's why I joined band as well. But sports, I had a whole life of that. I knew I could do that, and I knew that I'd be good at it. And I think if I went on to do sports, I think about it a lot now. I know I would have enjoyed it. I would still like to play sports, but I also believe I think me as a person, I would have made a career out of it. I would have tried my hardest to, and if I succeeded at it, I still at some point would have tried to do something else, because I know now that wasn't fulfilling enough for me in life, but because I had the opportunity to do other things, and I watched my siblings go and do sports in college and find out then that that's not what they wanted. I had that precursor of seeing that looks like what my future's going to be, and it made me think, do I actually want to do sports? Because we're in America, I get the opportunity to choose what I want to do.
See, but now every time you say stuff like that, it makes it sound like you think the better
For
option
me-
is the way we.
For
do
me,
in
it
America.
worked out. For me, it worked out, and for some people, it works out. But I'm saying, as a society, my thought about the school system isn't based on me. It's not based on how great I think my life has turned out. Because, yeah, if our school system was like a different school system that, in my opinion, runs better, then my life probably wouldn't be as great as it is. But I wouldn't be struggling paying rent. I probably wouldn't be in California. But I would still be finding a way to be happy with my life. And at this point,
Is that better though?
it's better as a society, because we're walking around every freaking day passing by people that are dying on the streets because they don't have the money, because they decided to come out here on a whim, because America pushes out that ideal that you can do anything you want.
Well, I think there's also a little bit more to it than that when it comes to just the homeless population. It's just a culmination of
Multiple
like
things.
It is a culmination of multiple things, but the biggest part of it because there are homeless populations in other countries, of course. But the reason in my opinion, the reason America's is so big is because, and we've seen it all the time. We've had friends that are technically homeless, you know, and it's all because we come out here. And I mean, I've in my schooling at AMDA out here in California, I've known people to drop out, and now they're posting TikToks about, or not TikToks, but like Snapchat stories and whatever about how they're living the dream, making music. But everybody knows they're in some house with like 15, 20 other people, being miserable, technically homeless, not living, like, not surviving, barely surviving the way homeless people do. And the only income they have is scamming people.
But I kind of like what Oscar was saying, though. I think there's more to the homeless issue than our school system. Like it's mostly like
cost of living,
capitalism
and
of
see,
America.
That's 100% accurate.
And it's America.
America is the problem.
Issue.
But the education system would fix a lot of it.
I don't know.
Because the capitalism and income it's hard for a lot of people to have a good income that allows them to continuously live in the area that they live in. But the school systems I'm talking about prepare you to do a job that would get you enough money to survive in anywhere that you're living. Like if all of us were good at tech shit and like engineering, we would all be engineers and we would all be easily living probably by ourselves right now.
But the thing is, that's basically, if we are all easily living on our own, but then we're still, again, this is assuming with the same people, that would just be settling for.
But no, okay, but that's what I said earlier.
Capitalism.
That's what I said earlier. Whereas there's a YouTuber I watched where he wanted to do arts and music and stuff, and he was not able to do that in school because he wasn't good at it. But by the time he was a little bit older than we are, he had an engineering job. He had something that he wasn't passionate about, but it gave him the money and support that he needed to begin doing what he actually wanted to do with his life.
So do you think maybe he would be in the same place, a worse place, or a better place if instead of school being like you can't do art, had helped them in some way? And been like, all right, you like art? These are our art teachers. Practice
also,
these
where
next
is he
4
from?
years.
The UK.
Okay.
And I think that's why it's a hot topic for me, because I can't say where somebody would be if they would be better off or not. I can only speak for myself. I can only say what I've seen and what I've read and the people I've heard talk about it. And from my perspective, the things that I've looked at, the things that I've heard, it's just better for the generalized youth. It's better because they're preparing every single person that comes through their school to survive in the real world. Whereas in America, they don't care about everybody that comes into school. They see people that they don't think are going to succeed, and they let them do whatever they're going to do until they either fell out or they just pass them, so there's somebody else's, so they're the rest of the world's problem now.
Because I do agree in the fact that America's school system needs some hella revisions. But I don't know if I don't know if I agree with that.
It needs hella revisions. I don't want to say that it should be like another country school system. I'm just using another country school system as an example because, in my opinion, it's a better school system.
Okay.
There obviously could be changes and upgrades to any school system in the world, but
Except Finland. Finland's perfect.
Number one,
baby.
Okay.
I don't know much about Sweden's, to be honest, but they're up there because
It's just that whole little area.
Yeah. But basically my point is that American school systems need, if it were up to me, you wouldn't see all these people like those kids,
be a C team.
Those kids. Yeah, there's not those kids that everybody knows, those kids that you went to school with, that you just look at them and you're like, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. You're gonna be the person working at Walmart when I come back in 10 years. You're gonna be the person working at McDonald's when I come back in 10 years.
Okay, so what if somebody's not good at anything though?
Everybody's good at something. Everybody's good at something. And if you have a
In
good
school- that
and
can
if
be
you
taught
have
in school?
yes, and if you have a good education system, they will make sure you're good at something before you get to college. They teach you math. We all learned math. I was phenomenal at math growing up. I took calculus and I finished it before my senior year of high school. I would have had to do math in college. I hate math, but I would have had a job out of it. I would still know how to do it today. Everybody's good at something, whether they like to do it or not.
I can get behind that. I just don't know if I was told to just like stick to history, I'd be like, okay, and then like drop something else that I loved. I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna drop the school.
Well, but
Like,
that's the thing. Like, I think for the most part, we're also just filtering this through our experiences with the schooling we have, the life we grew up in. But on that aspect, it's like, just because if you like something and you know, like, this is how things are, you're gonna work extra hard to pass that thing and be able to do it, you know, for the rest of your life. So hard working pays off in the school system I'm referencing, whereas we don't have to work hard here to get somewhere. Anywhere we want to be. I
kind of am now starting to understand your point a little bit more, in the sense that, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure this will happen. But like, I remember I went to some school for like a campus tour kind of thing, and they talked about how, I guess this is kind of like the whole, they will get you a job in this, and if you're passionate about something, do it on your own kind of thing. Like, I'm pretty sure, again, I don't know, but I think like Michael Jordan has like a degree in like English. Like, he went to college and got a bachelor's in English, or something like that. Or there's some basketball player who went to some college that I visited in Texas, and he was like, I'm a major in English. But yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I'm an English major, so if I ever need to do something, like if I ever need a job, I can just do it. But I guess that kind of goes off in the whole like having a backup plan thing.
But in America,
which I don't subscribe to at all.
Exactly. In America, it's okay not to have a backup plan. And in the system I'm talking about, your backup plan is the plan until you can figure out how to do what your first, like, your goal or dreams are.
I'm all about full send.
I am too, but that's America. That's what we grew up to believe in.
But so you think full send is not the way?
I think full send works for a minimal amount of people. Like, everybody in this room, I think full send pays off. I think we are succeeding. And see, no, and I know if I did something else. I mean, I've done something else work-wise, and I was depressed doing it. Like, I could not. You cannot sit me in any other setting that is not creative. But I also know. Oh my God, excuse me. I also know that for the majority of people, full sending it. Look at the kids we went to school with. And I remember every semester there was somebody that I looked at, and I felt bad. I was like, somebody should have told you shouldn't be here. Because after this, if you think you're as passionate about this, if your family or whoever in your school system led you to believe that this was a viable career for you, I'm so freaking sorry.
But they're there to get better. Because here's my thing, Jordan, with what you said earlier. I genuinely in high school, I was like, I'm not good at anything. Literally, I didn't consider, because I think I got better at acting when I came to AMDA.
But did you work hard to get better at acting?
Yeah, but if somebody would have told me, like, if at AMDA told me, hey, this really isn't for you, like, maybe try to find something, or even like in high school, if my theater teacher would have told me, you're not good at this, because I think I was the only, I was like one of the only seniors in like a normal theater class, because we had like an upper theater class called production, and I didn't make it into that because when I auditioned, I blanked. I tried to do fucking Fahrenheit 451 monologue, where he
Oh.
just spouts off random words or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I did like 4 or 5 of them, and then I blanked
Mm-hmm.
and I panicked.
Mhm.
And this was this was going into my senior
Yeah.
year, something like that. I panicked, and so obviously I didn't get into the
Yeah.
upper theater.
Yeah.
Which anybody who was in like after school theater that was of my age was
Mm-hmm.
in that class, and I was like, well, I'm horrible at this. So if they would have been like, yeah, this isn't for you, find something else because you're wasting your time, I definitely would not have gone to AMDA. I definitely would not have gotten better.
Yeah.
And I definitely would
Beep.
be in the army right now.
Here's my thing though. You would have gone somewhere that would have helped you find a career path and maybe that's the army, but again, the army prepares you to be able to do whatever you want after.
Not theater. There are no MOS.
No,
maybe
no.
like public relations.
I'm not
but there are
saying.
no
I'm not
MOSs
saying.
for, like,
I'm not
acting.
saying do whatever you want. Like you get a job after the army doing whatever you want. I mean, you will be able to. If you get out of the army, you are set
You have
to.
a job.
You have a job, and at that point, you will be making money to where if you wanted to go back to theater, if you wanted to be an actor, you could take classes and you could work hard, just as hard as you did in AMDA, to get it to the place you are now. Like you still have a shot at doing what you want because that's what the school system would have prepared you for. It would have and if you never came back to acting, then that's not what you ever wanted to do in the first place. And that's what I'm saying. If the school system would have taken these kids that dropped out of AMDA, that aren't able to do it, that weren't working hard enough to do it well enough to actually make a career out of it by the time they graduated, then they wouldn't have gotten to AMDA in the first place. They would have gone and did something else. And if they never came back to acting, it's because that's not what they wanted to do with their lives. And the people that wouldn't have come back, chosen to come back after all that time of learning something else, it just shows you that
That's
they
their
should.
passion.
That's their The people that come back, that's their passion. People like us, I'm assuming we all would have came back to it if we didn't get to do it on our first try. People and I can't say names, but I'm gonna say a name and I'm gonna bleep it out for you guys. But I'm to give you an explanation of who I'm thinking of.
Spicy.
People like that didn't work hard enough at school wouldn't have even had the chance to do it, and they would have realized ahead of time that this isn't for them because somebody told them it wasn't, and they weren't passionate enough to do it.
Damn.
Do what you want to do with life, but people want to make sure you get it right the first time you do it. Not wasting 25 years of your life trying to be an actor when you don't put in the work to be an actor.
And so this is implemented all throughout high school?
It's
or
the whole school system that I'm referring to, when you're a kid, you get to be a kid and you get to go to school and do everything that you want to do. But there gets a point when it gets serious. You have to start thinking about what's actually a viable career path for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't start thinking about it, they're going to think about it for you.
Right. I feel like that's maybe something to be left for junior or senior year or something. Not immediately when you're kind of molding yourself still, because
and for the
I'm
most
14.
Well,
I don't know what to do yet.
No, that's middle school. But for the most part, it is left for your later semesters of high school. I just said high school. You get to high school, and that's the stuff you go through. But
Okay.
it is more so stuff that happens your junior, senior year, so that by the time you go to college, you're not doing something that you couldn't possibly do right there and then and there. I'm sorry, I cut you off. I just had a thought and I know I'm gonna forget it. I view people in the UK and in other countries that implement this kind of school system as just genuinely happier with their lives, because when they go down a path that maybe they didn't want to do because of college, but when they figure out what they want to do and they work towards that, they're genuinely just happier people than the people. And I watch a lot of videos and YouTube videos of people just that aren't Americans, but them versus my goddamn camera. Them versus I'm gonna keep talking. No, but I'm gonna keep talking. Them versus the people it's dead. The camera's dead.
Oh.
No.
Them versus the people that I know in my life that are are trying to do things that they're not 100% motivated to do. It's like, we know, how do I put this? We know a lot of people that are just genuinely sad because they want to do something that they are not good at doing.
Oh,
and it's miserable.
It's back.
We're back. It's okay. It's back for now. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave it there. Like, it's up to whoever's listening to this. I'm gonna try to cut it down so it's not as long. Whoever's listening to this, you can take what you want from this about the school system. Maybe if you're listening, you aren't from America and you agree, like you feel like you've had better opportunities to do what you want to do in life. But it's off again. But in America, I just think I've seen classmates and I've grown up with people doing things that it's a saying for a reason. Like, everybody I knew growing up went around saying, "Oh, that person's going to be at Walmart when we come back someday. That person's going to be working at Burger King." Like, it's a saying for a reason, because America sets the way our education school system is set up is most people are set up for failure. Most people aren't set up for an actual sustainable life.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
there we go.
We're back.
All right, we're back.
Back from where?
Back
I mean,
where the camera should have died and we had to charge the battery. We've been listening to music and doing a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
But
I drank some apple juice.
we're back to discuss the last and final hot topic of the episode.
You need me to rile you up a little bit?
yeah, get me like a little bit angry.
All right,
don't
so
know.
obviously one of the best and creative and innovative directors of our time is Wes Anderson.
Obviously, I mean, he's genius behind the camera with color scheme. It's incredible.
All right, I'm there. I'm there.
Stop
I'm there.
motion
I'm there.
is-
I'm there.
Cinematic
I'm there.
masterpieces.
I'm
The
there.
storytelling.
Wes Anderson is not a good filmmaker. I don't think he's a good filmmaker.
Whoa. Before you said director,
I did.
now it's all around filmmaker?
I did. Yes. Yeah. I've changed.
Wow.
I've changed my opinion. Look. I don't think making every shot symmetrical and every scene having a perfect color scheme, I don't think that makes it good when there's no fucking reason for it. I think that makes you a pretentious asshole, and he's just
Now-
behind the camera jerking himself off. He's like, "Oh, this looks so fucking good, dude."
Now, time the freak
No.
out. Time the
No.
freak. Because I want to tell you, because you said making the shot symmetrical and color scheme, making it all pretty or whatever when it has no purpose to it. Moonrise Kingdom.
No.
No. I'm
Purpose.
gonna. You say that, but oh my God, we analyzed this movie. It's symmetrical. Everything lined up. The shots are perfect. Everything is in sync. But it's beautiful because it completely contradicts the characters. You're seeing them in this what seems to be a perfect world with adults acting like children, children acting like adults. Everything's in the character aspect of the movie is backwards. And so a great way to depict how upside down these people's worlds were to and to show these characters for who they really and truly are was to write them obviously backwards, children acting like adults, adults acting like children, but also to set them in a scene, in a viewpoint that looks perfect, like perfection. And it's a really cool take on what childhood for most people actually is like. When you think back on your childhood, or when a lot of people think back on their childhood, I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Some people
You're
have.
saying
I'm not
a lot of
done.
really cool
I'm not
stuff.
done.
But what about all
see
the
how
other
he's-
ones?
You see how he's cutting
where
me off.
it's
You
the
see how he's
same
cutting me
thing.
off
No.
because he doesn't want to hear the truth.
No.
And when most people reference their childhood, it feels like this beautiful thing, no matter how much of a mess it was, because we all want that perfect childhood that we can reminisce about and be nostalgic about. But in all reality, we felt like we were the adults and adults didn't understand us. And he made it to where you saw that on the screen as well
I
as
think
felt it.
that if you have to fully show that juxtaposition, then you haven't done your fucking job as a filmmaker.
That's what filmmaking is
No,
about.
no, no,
He
no,
wanted
no.
to do it in a
But-
different way. He didn't want to just play out the same old
But
scene
it's
with the same
literally
old
like
characters.
holding your hand and being like, "Do you guys get it? Oh my god, wait, guys, do you guys get it?"
But that's the thing. You
get it?
obviously.
I'm
But
so
no.
smart.
That's
I'm
the
so
thing.
fucking smart.
That's the thing. He
Whoa.
did it because you obviously didn't get it.
Okay,
You're saying
wait.
he had to lay out the scene and hold your hand, but you hated him for
Yeah.
doing something that you didn't understand,
No.
obviously, because it's beautiful take on not only how to tell a story, but cinematography, filmography itself. It is something people don't do. It is something people didn't do before he did it, and it had a purpose. It wasn't something he was just like, I want to do something different.
It's
He
in
put
every
a
movie. You realize
It's his shtick. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
what's his face having all women's feet in all his fucking movies? Tarantino. That's nobody likes that. Why would anybody like that? People
So
are
then
just
why
like,
do you? So, but you guys like the symmetry and color schemes,
Yes,
even when
because it
sometimes
plays-
it doesn't play any
but it
kind of
does.
importance.
It does
But
play
you can't-
importance because all of his movies. It's relative to all of his movies as we're seeing this perfection on screen. The symmetry of it. It's what's
So
the
you
word?
agree? It's about him. It's more about him than about the movie.
No, I'm saying in the aspect of the movie, we see the symmetry. We see it gives us this feeling of perfection while we're watching something that is not perfect. Every movie has its take on reality. How imperfect it is, no matter how perfect it looks.
Look, I wanna put this out there. I think it works perfectly for Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think
Okay.
that's a great movie.
It is.
I think his movies succeed because of who he puts in his movies. I think he's a great casting director. Maybe just stay there. I don't know. Maybe just stay in that realm because he has a very particular way that he wants them to play, and they do it perfectly because he knows them and whatever, and they all work together, and it's great to see. But then everything surrounding them, I feel, makes me want to rip my eyeballs out. Because, look, I get it. He held my hand through it all. I understand the meaning behind it. Don't fucking put it in the movie.
Wait,
That's
so
like
is it the visuals that you don't like?
Yeah.
So it's just the cinematography and the visuals and the stuff. Like, do you think, like, script-wise it's bad, story-wise it's bad, or you just don't like you don't like his vision for it? I guess.
Moonrise Kingdom, I think, is a bad movie.
Ugh.
Life Aquatic, Fantastic Mr. Fox, what I saw of Isle of Dogs, all looked great. All had a decent script, I think. I think Moonrise Kingdom is just...
Xavier, your thoughts?
I need you to talk to him.
Oh,
He's not looking at me.
now here's something I will say.
Okay.
I haven't seen Moonrise Kingdom.
Okay, I can't have you talking anymore.
Cause like it's funny
The-
because okay, no, go ahead then.
The
Go
whole
ahead.
the I don't know what to say right now. The you admit,
Hot, 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 hot.
do you not like the writing of Moonrise Kingdom? Do you not like the story
No,
that's
I
being
don't like
told
the moon. I don't like
at all? Why
barely
not?
anything.
Why not? What's wrong with the story? Not the way he portrays it. What's wrong with the story?
Let me think back on this.
You just don't like Bruce Willis.
I forgot he was in the movie.
Oh God.
You just don't like Bruce Willis. That's what it is.
No. What? Okay. Now that you've said this, I clearly don't remember. A lot of the
Ooh.
movie.
Ooh. Very interesting how your take is how much this movie sucks and you
Okay.
don't even remember what happens in it, what the story is. It seems as though you've taken in all the love that people give his cinematography and the quality of
being
how
a
he does the
hater
movie,
just
and
to
you're
hate-
just
oh.
being a hater about
Drinking
it.
God.
That haterade really isn't good for
Here's
you.
the thing. Here's the thing. I remember the Life Aquatic. I remember that story more than Moonrise Kingdom.
But you said you
I
liked that
saw-
story.
Yes, and I saw Moonrise Kingdom after Life Aquatic.
Okay.
That tells me something.
That tells me you weren't paying attention during one of the movies.
No, I think it's just that I don't like the way the movie has
Do you
been
think
structured
Moonrise
at all.
Kingdom is better than Life Aquatic? Did you like that one more?
Oh yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Yes, I do like Moonrise Kingdom more.
Do you think it's a better film? Or do you think you just enjoyed it more?
I just enjoyed it more. I feel like I don't have a true opinion on which is the better film because I think they're both up to par with each other. But I personally enjoyed Moonrise Kingdom more. It just the way the story was told was incredible. Not only were these children shown as invincible, it's like it's exactly how you feel as a kid. Nothing can hurt you. You go on this camping trip, or you're in this camp troop or whatever, and they're throwing axes at these kids that are running away together. They're like shooting slingshots at them, and it's like this. They give it this air of actual danger, but you never think anybody's gonna actually die or get hurt. There's like explosions and the whole flood and everything, and it's all layered through how invincible and how right and we think we are when we're kids. And it's all from a child's perspective of how we even view adults. They didn't know, like the adults act like, again, they act like children. They didn't know anything. They didn't know what was good for the kids. They didn't know, like they hardly cared when they were leaving or like, running away together. And when the kids finally ran away together and they found that they were at this, the Beach Cove place or whatever, they were adults. They, built a little tent, aka house, and he had his newspaper. He had all that stuff. They went fishing. It was like, it's what every kid believes
growing up is about.
Growing up is about, exactly. It's a great depiction of what they think the real world is, and how nothing can hurt them, and they can do as they please. And I think it's very beautiful, especially in the extent of the way it's shot, the way Wes Anderson shoots things, because it's in this beautiful hue of life. It's in this yellowy, bright tint. Yeah,
Does she have the color scheme up?
Yeah. Our audience member, it pulled up the color schemes of his movies, and it's like the color scheme of Moonrise Kingdom is this feeling of I'm trying to think of youth, exactly, like bright colors, bright fluorescent hues of colors. It pops out, everything pops out, but
Yellow like the sun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The yellows, the blues, the reds, they're all very prominent on screen, and you never see a color on accident. Everything is placed in a perfect way because that's what it was. You're invincible, you're perfect, anything you do is correct as a child.
Now, Oscar.
Everything you're saying is completely correct.
Yes.
I just don't fucking like it.
You must have had like a
And
troubling
you are
childhood.
entitled to that opinion.
You are
entitled
entitled to that opinion. I can back up mine.
Yes. But
Look, all I'm saying is I think he gets a little bit too invested with his own work,
Okay.
you could say the same for like Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can say the same for plenty of great directors.
Michael. Oh, wait, you said great directors.
I just
Well,
I'm so sorry, Michael Bay.
Why would you even mention
Wow.
his name? Why did that even come across?
Because I just heard invested in his work, and I just thought people who just do too much of their own thing in their
Yeah.
movies,
Okay.
and my brain went. Michael Bay.
yeah. I get that.
Oh god! But then my brain registered that you said great director.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my hot take.
So yeah, we have war crimes,
Education
the
system.
American school system.
Wes Anderson.
And
I'm
Wes Anderson.
fully prepared to take all the heat from anyone listening.
You know, I honestly think I said it all. I don't like.
If that's all, then
I mean, you might just get
Okay.
straight up hate
Oh.
because you're point blank wrong.
Okay.
If anything, hate me because I've only
what I
seen,
do have to watch
Isle
though
of Dogs and
is
Fantastic
Grand
Mr. Fox.
Budapest Hotel.
Ooh.
I do have to watch that.
Yeah. Yes.
Because, and
Isle of Dogs.
Finish out.
finish Isle of Dogs. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Because that looks like. I don't know what it is about specifically Moonrise Kingdom that drives me insane. Because
Damn.
I like just on trailer alone for,
Isle of Dogs.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Budapest,
Mm.
yeah.
It's it's shot the exact.
Yeah.
Maybe I hate childhood. Who knows?
I think yeah.
But-
Like in my head, what you've said is you hate the perspective of children. Because that's what Moonrise Kingdom is. That's all it is.
I'll have to watch
Is
this,
life
though.
through the perspective of a child.
Because I definitely had like a different child perspective.
Mm.
So I'd have to see.
The first time I saw it too, I watched it in an English class, and I was like, "Why are we? Why are we watching?
Interesting.
What's going on right now?"
Maybe that's also you associated with
School.
oh
Yeah.
God.
Did you
But then
watch
I
it
watched it
after
later.
that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it's,
Okay.
I don't know.
And then you went, wait, I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate this guy as a
I
filmmaker.
hated it the first time too, so I don't know. It's,
What's this dude's name? Wes?
Wes.
Wes Anderson, nah. Wes Craven.
Wes. Yo.
Oh,
Yo.
goodness.
Wait. No. Oh my God. Oh my God. Scream 5 is confirmed, dude. Oh, bro.
I shouldn't have said.
Holy
You really
shit.
shouldn't have said anything about
Holy
Wes Craven.
shit.
All right, and we're
We
done.
love Wes Craven
So
in
I
this
guess
house.
this is the end of this
Wow.
episode.
Fuck, man. It's
Um,
Scream 5 is confirmed.
Our
Scream 5
producer
is
is telling us to
Top
just
3
cut
are
Yeah.
back.
the mics.
It's gonna be amazing.
So we will
I'm so
see
ready.
you again next week
Please cast me.
on
Whoever's
Thursday.
rest in peace, Wes Craven.
Next weekend, you can watch the YouTube video
You're the
tomorrow.
goat. You're wonderful. You're wonderful.
We will. We'll see you later.
Surprise, Sydney.
Okay. Good night.
I love Scream so much.